factory's gone. The union called a meeting outside the front gate, and there was a lot of resentment to the fact that we were all going to lose our jobs. Trade union officials were down, and there was a lot of angry shouting going on, and it was decided that the workers would take the factory over.
We will fight Jim Pryor, and we will fight Maggie Thatcher if need be.
I took part in the setting. I was the first one over the gate. I think it was 256 of us. Climbed the gate, stormed the gates, like the storming of the Bastille. We took over the canteen facilities. The factory was not destroyed in any way while we were here.
To try and hold on to their jobs, the workers held out for 13 weeks. Belfast was still the unemployment black spot of Western Europe, and the men knew that if the factory closed, the prospect of them finding another job was virtually nil. But their best efforts were in vain. No buyer for the factory came forward, and the plant went into liquidation.
I told Cork that he'd got to finish the thing off, because I knew what was going to happen and Kenneth Cork didn't.
The arrest of John DeLorean. He's charged with drug offences.
Yes, I was tipped off, yes.
Mr. Pryor's officials say they didn't know. They're shocked and baffled. John DeLorean is due in court within the hour. The former head of the DeLorean car firm faces drug conspiracy charges. And if he's found guilty, he could go to prison for up to 15 years.
I was very surprised that a person of that stature in the business world would involve himself in that kind of a crime. There's a lot of individuals who commit crimes for the first time. There's always somebody who goes out and robs a bank. It's the first bank he robs. If you get presented with some information that somebody wants to deal in large amounts of drugs, you have to investigate the case. You can't ignore it.
Early this morning, DeLorean's wife, model Christina Ferrara, flew in from New York to be with her husband, but had little to say to reporters.
I just found out a few hours ago. I know nothing. I caught a plane. I'm here. I'm here to be with my husband. There's nothing I can say to you because I know nothing.
DeLorean had been in secret negotiations with supposed bankers to raise the millions his company needed. While putting the deal together in a Los Angeles hotel room, he had been enticed by the prospect of making even more cash by trafficking cocaine. He had been dealing with undercover agents all along, and they had it all on tape. It was a classic FBI sting. If found guilty, he would go to jail for 15 years.
It was one of those defining moments. I can also remember when Kennedy was killed, and I can remember September 11th, where I was and on those occasions. And I can also remember where I was when I seen the DeLorean thing on television.
Between this and the other, it'll generate about 4.5.
The other two were worldwide catastrophes. The DeLorean thing was a personal catastrophe.
The other gold. Gold weighs more than that, or no?
I was stunned. I was just absolutely stunned. I just couldn't believe it. Well, I think about 2,000 other people were, well, the same. It was just an amazing piece of film.
A lot of success for everybody. For all the phone calls. Thank you.
You don't want to presume guilt, but my goodness, they did seem to have him red-handed, or white-handed, as the case may be.
Very well, the FBI. You're in the arrest for narcotics laws violation.
I must admit I was in bad shape at that time. I'd been struggling everywhere trying to find money to keep my company alive. There was no crime committed. I never gave him any money. I never took any money. I had nothing to do with it. I was just a man who was a victim of being stuck in the middle of this whole false scenario.
Everybody looked at it, believed that they had a significant criminal problem, and that's why they moved on it. And I have never heard anything to the contrary. I can tell you that anyone purposely set up John DeLorean. I do not believe that for 1 minute.
He was expressing an interest in financing some type of operation that would produce quickly large sums of money on return from the investment?
Knowing the nature of the man, I think he probably tried everything to keep the factory going, to keep the workers from work, keep the DeLorean car going. That was his last resort.
The DeLorean drug celebrity trial soon became a media frenzy. In the full glare of publicity, John DeLorean was forced to answer some harsh questions.
During the first 53 years of your life, did you ever do anything dishonest, illegal, or immoral?
Yes.
It was a defense idea to put him through the lie detector test. Even DeLorean couldn't spin his way out of this one, and soon revealed his ruthless streak.
Or did you ever cheat someone or take advantage of anyone in a business deal?
Yes, I would say.
DeLorean's arrest was the final nail in the coffin for the Dunmurry plant, and the factory was wound up. Only a skeleton staff remained to put the last few cars together.
About 6 cars at different stages of build. So we were there right up until February 83, building these last 6 cars. So literally they were the last 6 cars that left the factory.
And they were all built like in a family business type. That they weren't built on an assembly line. People with the different skills would have formed a team and finished the car off.
I didn't want the last one to go, because knowing that the last one was going meant that I wasn't going to get paid anymore. But whenever it did go, it really did break her heart, you know.
And I know that they were the best cars that left that factory.
The plant machinery was auctioned off.
We were hanging labels on machines and what have you. And it was so sad because most of the equipment, you know, at some stage or other I had been involved in buying and installing. And it was sad just to see everything going. You said to yourself, now, what went wrong here? You know, why didn't this work?
I had my own belief that he went too fast. Everything was too quick. Tried to produce too much. At the end of the day, we were trying to produce 400 cars a week. So we were 80 a day, 40 at each shift. The market wasn't there for them. You know, you take a specialised sports car, producing 400 a week, like, over 10 weeks is 4,000 cars.
We have for sale this morning, perhaps the most controversial sports car in the world market today.
I was earning at that time perhaps over £1,000, taking up home over £1,000 a month. But when DeLorean closed, I went back on the dole. I went back onto the dole with 4 kids at £47 a week.
A historic moment for us all, ladies and gentlemen. The first DeLorean sports car to be sold, where they were made, in Northern Ireland. What am I bid?
The sad legacy of DeLorean was not only the loss of his jobs, but one of the sad